Welcome to Subramani. Yesterday, that is Monday, was not a particularly good day for shares in general or stocks in general. But shares of Adani Group fell more than what the other players in the market fell. In fact, some of the Adani Group stocks, I mean, Adani Enterprises, for example, which was included in the Nifty, fell 8%. Whereas many other Adani stocks fell about 5%, which I think is Adani Green, Adani Total Gas, and Ambuja Cement all fell by more than 5%. And other shares of Adani Group like Adani Power, Adani ACC, Adani Transmission, I think Adani Ports and SEZ, all that fell by less than 5%, but all of them fell. There was no place to hide if you were holding shares of the Adani Group. I'm talking about this not because I have any particular interest in Adani Group, nor am I saying I don't have any interest. I'm not even saying whether I hold shares, don't hold shares, no comments. This is just an example that I'm giving. Now, when a company gets listed on the markets, it is expected that the markets will do a price discovery. It does not always happen because sometimes the shares are very closely held by a few people. I know many such cases where you think it's a listed company, but it behaves more like a sole proprietor. And if the owner sold, the price would crash from wherever it is to zero, right? There will be no market to buy such a huge quantity. I'm not even getting into that about Adani Group, but Adani Group, you speak to very many big shareholders, you speak to mutual funds, none of them seem to have it in their portfolio. So Adani shares are not really what you would call widely held by very many people. So it's not a great price discovery the way it happens in, say, Maruti Suzuki, SBI or HDFC or Reliance, things like that, where it is really widely held. Very many people index. Take Reliance for example, it is held by mutual funds, held by very many individuals, PMS, it is there in the indices, it is held internationally, right? So very widely held. Adani Group is not so widely held, so the price discovery will not be so easy, so smooth. So the standard deviation will be very high. So take the case of Adani Enterprise. In the last 6 months, it has gone up by 53%, where the market has actually gone down by 6%. But that has been fitted into the index, right? Should it have come into the index? We can almost debate about it for till the cows come home, because is it widely held? No. Is the market cap high? Yes. Is the impact cost high? Yes. Should it have come into the index, not come into the index? Should it go out of the index? We don't know. But yesterday's selling, at least of Adani Enterprise, would have been very simple. Very many people would have bought it, and knowing that on the day that it gets into the index, many index funds will be forced to buy it, and they would want to sell it on that day. Now, an index fund could have bought it one day late, one day early, or they could have reacted late. So they may buy it today, which is a Tuesday, or they may buy it after some more time, right? So they have some time in which to react to that. So, but there is no heavy mass selling by any big mutual funds, because mutual funds never had them, right? So this is the story of Adani Enterprises equity, saying that okay, it went up dramatically. They've had a very long bull run over the last 2-3 years. I mean, a big stock going up 53% in 6 months is not very easy, especially when you're going completely against the trend, when the NSE, its index itself has gone down by 6%, right? But look at the Adani debt. Adani debt is not a very favorite, not among the real favorites in the world. Not too many, not too many mutual funds hold Adani paper. Adani shares are held by only one institutional investor, largely one institutional investor, which is LIC. And Adani's very happy lender seems to be State Bank of India. Now it's up to you whether you are holding shares of State Bank of India and or LIC, and to know whether the risk of Adani books is in the Adani books, or is it in the LIC books, or is it in the State Bank of India books. That's your call. I'm not getting into that, but the Adani debt has been mauled in the markets, and I'll have to get you the details from here. By the way, the Adani Group PE is not so attractive that even after a fall you may feel like buying. For example, Adani Enterprises is at a PE of 535. Yes, you heard me right. 535, right? Your ACC is at 32, which seems to be less. Adani Green is at 750. Yeah, you heard me right, 750. Then there is Adani Total Gas at 781. There is Adani Transmission at 440. There is Adani Wilmar at 113, right? So I can't see. Ambuja Cement, of course, is at a PE of 40. Sensex is at 21 and Nifty is at 20, right? So this is the comparison of the indices and the PE of these Adani Group companies with the indices. That's again, park it aside, but I am now going to talk about the Adani Group debt. The Adani Group equity super performance versus the Adani Group debt. They faced quite a bit of hassle, especially after the report which says they are over leveraged and you should not compare their market capitalization, because their market capitalization we do not know whether it is sustainable. Can the Adani sell a part of their group holdings and pay off the debt? The question is yes, looking at the price of the shares, who will be a willing buyer at these P's? I have bought, I have sold, I may have done anything in Adani Group. Please don't treat this as a recommendation to buy or sell or get into the Adani paper. I am not doing anything. I am just comparing the performance of equity or the super outperformance of equity versus the not so spectacular performance of debt, and a lot of the debt is foreign debt. Right, it's not, I mean, the enthusiastic lender that we have seen is State Bank of India, but apart from State Bank of India, the debt is, a lot of debt is foreign debt. I have no clue whether these debts have been guaranteed by anybody, by the, obviously it must be done by the Adani Group, but is there a government bank lending, government bank which is standing guarantee to these loans? I have no idea. I have not checked the balance sheet of SBI, nor have I checked the balance sheet of Adani. So I am just telling you the debt portion of it. It's really facing quite a bit of a hammering because Adani Ports dollar bonds declined much more than the Indian peers in August 2000, and it's maturing in August 2027. Adani Ports dollar denominated notes declared by 14% this year. Adani Transmission one's note which is due in 2036, and Adani Electricity 2030 securities have declined by 17%. This exceeds the 10% decline in the dollar debt overall, and the 13% drop. Your currency has also dropped by 13%, so 13 and 17. Is it high? It's not very high, but the question is, will they be able to repay the loan? That's the question which people are asking. Adani Green has lost money, Adani Ports has lost money. All of them have lost some money because all these bonds are now available much cheaper. I'm not say much cheaper, but definitely cheaper than the price at which it was issued. This could be a good opportunity for some vulture-like debt funds which know how to pick up these shares, when to sell them, when to hold them. But the market is pricing them like it is pricing a risky assets, whereas the market is pricing the equity like it is pricing a super duper premium, because 785, 535 kind of PE does not exist. But having said that, if the company grows at some 100% and for 1 or 2 years, then these PEs could automatically correct by themselves because of the increasing earning per share. So I am not commenting into all that. I am just telling you the comparative performance of debt and equity in the same Adani Group. Adani is now planning to raise another 800 crores by non-convertible bonds, and these NCDs will have a tenure of 3 years, and it also has a good CRISIL rating of AA minus. They will raise from the Maguire. They are trying to buy projects from Maguire Asia Infrastructure Fund, and many of them, and each one of these will raise about 400 crores. They recently have also bought Spectrum. There was speculation about what they will do with it, but it looks like they are going to use the spectrum for their own personal use and they are not entrants into the telecom industry. Telecom industry is another place where there is a huge amount of money requirement, and so a first generation entrepreneur like Mittal, he's done well, but we do not know whether Adanis will come into it at all. Looks like, from what they are saying, They're going to use it only for their internal use, but you never know with Adani. Thank you.